Zion Hill Church, tucked away in the secluded woods of eastern Tennessee, stood as a beacon of faith and fellowship for over a century. The congregation, though small, was steadfast, bound by shared values, traditions, and a profound connection to the surrounding wilderness. Every Sunday, families gathered under its steepled roof to worship, share meals, and celebrate life's stones. The church's proximity to the forest imbued it with a serene charm, but it also brought occasional wildlife encounters. Deer grazed on the property, birds nested in the eaves, and squirrels darted across the lawn. Yet no one could have anticipated the horror that unfolded on the evening of August 12, 2024. A routine midweek Bible study session turned a nightmare when a black bear, drawn by the scent of food, entered the churchyard and attacked. In the chaos that ensued, 2 beloved congregants lost their lives and others were left injured and traumatized. This essay recounts the events of that fateful evening, remembers the lives lost, and reflects on the lessons learned to prevent such tragedies in the future. Zion Hill Church was more than just a place of worship. It was a cornerstone of the community. Established in 1902 by settlers who carved their lives from the rugged Tennessee wilderness, the church represented the perseverance and unity of its founders. The building was modest but inviting, with its white clapboard siding and a steeple that seemed to touch the heavens. Sunlight streamed through large windows during morning services, illuminating the pews where generations of families had prayed, sung, and celebrated together. Behind the church stretched an expanse of dense forest, a constant reminder of the wild beauty that surrounded this close-knit community. Over the years, the congregation embraced their natural setting, hosting outdoor picnics, children's camps, and even wildlife observation walks. The congregation was small but vibrant, made up of about 40 families who saw Zion Hill as both a spiritual refuge and a social hub. Birthdays, baptisms, weddings, and funerals were all celebrated within its walls, creating a tapestry of shared memories that deepened the bonds among its members. On the night of the attack, the church was hosting its weekly Wednesday Bible study, a tradition that brought together people of all ages. About 25 congregants, ranging from toddlers to retirees, gathered in the fellowship hall, a modest annex behind the main sanctuary. The evening began with a potluck dinner, a cherished ritual where everyone brought a dish to share. Tables were laden with home-cooked favorites, fried chicken, cornbread, casseroles, and pies. Laughter and conversation filled the room as people mingled, the children's playful shrieks echoing from outside. By 8 p.m., the group was settling in for the Bible study. Unbeknownst to them, a black bear had been prowling the area, drawn by the scent of the food and trash left behind from the potluck. The bear appeared suddenly, emerging from the tree line and heading directly toward the fellowship hall. The witnesses later recalled the confusion and disbelief that initially rippled through the group. Some thought it might retreat once it noticed the people, while others immediately sensed the danger. The bear, however, showed no fear. Its behavior suggested it was a habituated animal, one that had lost its natural wariness of humans, likely due to repeated exposure to unsecured food and garbage. The attack unfolded rapidly. As the bear approached, the adults scrambled to gather the children and lead them to safety inside the hall. Mark Evans, a 48-year-old deacon, stepped forward to confront the bear, attempting to drive it away and protect the group. Tragically, the bear turned its aggression toward him, delivering fatal injuries. Evelyn Carter, a 63-year-old Sunday school teacher, was also caught in the attack as she worked to usher children inside. Despite her efforts, she was unable to escape and she, too, lost her life. The bear's aggression continued as it forced its way into the fellowship hall, where panicked congregants tried to fend it off with makeshift weapons, chairs, sticks, and even hymnals. Some managed to escape through back exits, while others hid until help arrived. Emergency responders arrived on the scene within minutes of a 911 call made by one of the survivors. Law enforcement officers were forced to euthanize the bear to prevent further harm. In the immediate aftermath, the churchyard became a scene of heartbreak and chaos. The injured were treated on site before being transported to a nearby hospital, while others, though physically unharmed, were left in shock and grief. The loss of Mark and Evelyn devastated the congregation. Both were pillars of the community. Mark, a skilled carpenter who had repaired the church countless times, and Evelyn, a gentle soul who had taught Sunday school for nearly 4 decades. Their deaths left an indelible void in the lives of those who knew and loved them. The Tennessee Wild Resources Agency, TRAW, launched an investigation to determine the factors that led to the attack. Wildlife experts identified the bear as a mature male, weighing approximately 400 pounds. They noted signs of habituation, including its lack of fear and aggressive behavior toward humans. Evidence suggested the bear had been frequenting the area for some time, scavenging for food in unsecured trash bins and other human-provided sources. This behavior likely contributed to its boldness and eventual aggression. And the TRAW emphasized the importance of responsible coexistence with wildlife, particularly in communities adjacent to bear habitats. So they urged residents to implement measures such as bear-proof trash bins, proper food storage, and education about preventing wildlife habituation. The community of Zion Hill came together in an outpouring of love and remembrance for Mark Evans and Evelyn Carter. Both were remembered as selfless individuals whose lives were defined by their faith and dedication to others. Mark Evans was a devoted husband, father, and deacon who often led by example. Known for his quiet strength and generosity, Mark had a reputation for stepping in whenever help was needed, whether it was repairing a neighbor's roof or mentoring a young congregant. Evelyn Carter was the heart of Zion Hill Sunday School program, nurturing generations of children with her wisdom and warmth. She was a source of comfort and guidance for many, her gentle demeanor leaving a lasting impression on everyone she met. A joint memorial service was held on August 18, 2024, drawing hundreds of attendees from the surrounding region. The service was a celebration of lives well lived, filled with stories and some prayers that reflected the love and gratitude of a grieving community. The tragedy at Zion Hill Church underscores the importance of awareness and preparation when living near wildlife. For while bear attacks are rare, they are preventable with the right precautions. Bears are drawn to human food and garbage, which can lead to dangerous interactions. Using bear-proof containers and ensuring trash is properly secured can reduce the risk of attracting wildlife. And in the months following the attack, the congregation of Zion Hill Church demonstrated remarkable resilience. They rebuilt their fellowship hall, installed bear-proof trash bins, and launched an initiative to educate the broader community about wildlife safety. While the memory of Mark and Evelyn inspired these efforts, their legacy became a call to action, ensuring that their loss would lead to meaningful change and greater awareness. The attack at Zion Church was a rare and harrowing event, but it serves as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between human communities and the natural world. By respecting wildlife and taking proactive measures, we can reduce the risks of such tragedies while preserving the beauty and wonder of the wilderness. Mark Evans and Evelyn Carter's lives were a testament to faith, courage, and community. As we honor their memory, let us also honor the lessons their story imparts, to tread carefully, live harmoniously with nature, and protect the spaces that bring us closer to our Creator and each other. Through vigilance and compassion, we can ensure a safe future for all who share this earth. Story 2. On a crisp autumn day in the remote northern wilderness, a serene church gathering at St. Mark's Church, nestled deep in the woods of Alaska, turned into a tragic scene when a bear attacked the building and killed one person. The event, which took place on October 17, 1995, shocked a small community and raised important questions about the relationship between humans and wildlife. In this essay, we will explore the details of the attack, the circumstances that led to the bear's unusual behavior, the responses of the churchgoers and local authorities, and the lessons that can be learned from this tragic encounter. St. Mark's Church, located in the small Alaskan town of Kotzebue, was known for its peaceful atmosphere and close-knit congregation. The church was built in 1963, situated just outside of town in a picturesque setting, surrounded by dense forests and towering mountains. While the church was a beloved community hub, it also sat at the intersection of human settlement and wildlife habitat. The region is home to various wildlife, including bears, wolves, and moose, and human activity in these areas occasionally leads to encounters with these animals. However, bear attacks in the area were extremely rare, as the bears typically kept their distance from humans, especially in populated areas. The town of Kotzebue, with a population of about 3,000 at the time of the incident, is located in northwest Alaska. The majority of residents are native Alaskan, and many live in harmony with the surrounding wilderness, hunting, fishing, and gathering. The church was an essential gathering point for the local community, offering a space for spiritual reflection, social connection, and support. The events leading up to the bear attack began on the morning of October 17, 1995, when St. Mark's Church hosted a mid-morning service. The weather was crisp, typical for fall in Alaska, and the congregation filled the pews, unaware of the danger lurking outside. The church had no formal security system, and the doors remained open, allowing the natural sounds of the wilderness to drift inside. During the service, the pastor, Reverend Samuel Young, led the congregation in song and prayer, as he had done for years. Around 10:30 a.m., an alarming sound broke through the usual hum of voices, a loud banging and scratching at the church's back door. At first, the sound was dismissed as the wind, but as it grew louder, suspicion began to spread through the congregation. The church was situated near a dense thicket of forest, and bears were occasionally sighted in the area, though never this close. It was not unusual for the town's residents to see bears rummaging through garbage or meandering near the outskirts, but no one had ever reported a bear attacking a building. Reverend Young stepped outside briefly to assess the situation, but before he could even step back inside, a large male brown bear appeared, charging toward the door. The bear had been drawn in by the smells of food from a recent church event, and it was likely in search of easy sustenance before hibernation. It is possible the bear had been in the area for some time, but its intrusion into the church's space seemed to signal a shift in behavior. Brown bears are typically wary of human presence, and such an aggressive approach to a populated structure was highly uncharacteristic. In the chaos that ensued, the bear made its way inside through the open door, surprising the congregation. Panic broke out as the bear began swiping its massive paws, knocking over pews and knocking down a few churchgoers in its path. Several individuals managed to escape through the back exit, but tragically one person, 63-year-old Margaret Peterson, was unable to make it out in time. For Margaret, a lifelong member of the church, was caught by the bear's swipe and suffered fatal injuries. The bear attacked her with a ferocity that shocked everyone present. By the time local authorities arrived, the bear had already fled into the surrounding forest, leaving behind a scene of devastation. Once the initial shock wore off, the churchgoers, some of whom had first-hand experience with wildlife, quickly began to act. Few members immediately began to administer first aid to Margaret, but it was clear that her injuries were too severe. The rest of the congregation quickly called for help, and local authorities were notified. The Kotzebue Police Department, in cooperation with wildlife officials from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, responded immediately. Upon arrival, they found Margaret's body still inside the church and began to secure the area. So wildlife experts set out to track the bear using the scent trail left behind, though they knew it would be difficult to locate such a large animal in the vast wilderness surrounding the church. Over the next few hours, search teams combed the forest, but the bear was never found. The assumption was that the bear had retreated to a secluded part of the forest to recover from the stress of its confrontation with humans. Fortunately, the bear did not pose a further threat to the community, but it left behind a deep scar in the hearts of those who had witnessed the tragedy. Following the attack, an investigation into the incident was launched to determine the cause of the bear's unusual behavior. Experts from the Alaska Department of Fish and Game reviewed the circumstances surrounding the attack and looked into any potential factors that could have contributed to the bear's aggressive actions. Several theories emerged regarding why the bear had entered the church. One of the most plausible explanations was that the bear had been suffering from food scarcity. Bears in the region, particularly males, often forage extensively before hibernating, and this one may have been drawn to the scent of food inside the church. And another theory was that the bear had been habituated to human presence through prior encounters, making it less wary of humans. Some wildlife experts even suggested that the bear may have been experiencing stress from an injury or illness, which could have affected its behavior. So one of the more troubling possibilities was the theory of human error. It was found that the church had recently been storing large quantities of food in the building, including fish and wild game, which could have acted as a scent attractant for the bear. This oversight, coupled with the open doors, likely contributed to the bear's unexpected intrusion. The tragic events of October 17, 1995, left the Kotzebue community, but it also spurred a greater understanding of the delicate balance between human settlements and wildlife habitats. As a result, the local government implemented stricter guidelines on waste disposal and food storage in areas near wildlife habitats. This included securing trash bins and restricting the storage of food in public buildings unless they were fortified against animal access. The church also responded by instituting more rigorous safety measures, including training for churchgoers on wildlife awareness and how to respond in the event of an encounter with a bear. They added a bear-proof fence around the property and began to work closely with wildlife experts to ensure that they were prepared for any future encounters. Local wildlife officials also made efforts to educate the community about bear behavior and the importance of avoiding situations that could lead to conflicts. Public service campaigns emphasized the need for people to remain vigilant and respect wildlife, understanding that the wilderness was the bear's home and humans were the intruders. The story of the tragic bear attack at St. Mark's Church serves as a powerful reminder of the unpredictable nature of wildlife and the importance of being prepared when living in close proximity to bears and other dangerous animals. Here are some key takeaways for anyone living in bear country. To respect wildlife, remember that bears and other wildlife are part of the natural ecosystem, and their territories are increasingly encroached upon by human development. Respecting their space and avoiding attracting them to human settlements, we can reduce the chances of dangerous encounters. Immediate action in the event of a bear attack or threat. Stay calm and use the proper tools like bear spray to deter the bear. Seek shelter immediately if possible and alert authorities right away. The tragedy at St. Mark's Church is a stark reminder of the risks involved in coexisting with wildlife. While we must always strive to protect ourselves and our communities, it is equally important to ensure that we coexist peacefully with the animals who share our environment. Through education, preparation, and respect, we can minimize the likelihood of such tragic events occurring again. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about wildlife and safety tips, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch our latest updates. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.